going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day. Bitcoin over $60,000. My goodness, what is happening? Well, in yesterday's video, we were talking about the death cross on the 4-hour, and I showed you guys how back in 2020, we did have something very similar. Everyone was freaking out. It was a fake out. It was a bear trap. Well, to anybody that decided to short that, yikes, guys, it is an uptrend. The trend is your friend until the end, right? So let's talk about whether or not this was actually significant. Did we have enough volume, or is this just another shakeout trap? Could we actually go lower? I'll let you know exactly what is going on with Bitcoin right now, but what I do want to talk about is the fact that Bitcoin has massive news, lots of interest coming out, and in yesterday's video, I hinted at something that could be absolutely massive for Bitcoin price, and I definitely think we have that confirmation today. Bitcoin could potentially be headed for $70,000 and higher faster than you think. And if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's hop into the chart. So you can see right here, we did, in fact, have that 4-hour death cross. A lot of people were looking at this. They were scared. They thought this meant that the price was going to fall. But I showed you way back here, we actually did have a fake out back in 2020 where it looked like we were going to dip and we didn't. Whereas this time, we did actually fall under it. But most likely what's going to happen is this 20 is going to come back above the 50. And in fact, all the bears just got trapped. So I don't know why you're shorting the corn right now. I told you guys, the trend is your friend. And you can see right here, we have had multiple tests ever since we had this bounce back in January. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and right here, we had another 5, 6. And if you actually know from just looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is infamous for these double bottoms. You can see we had one right here, double bottom and test. And again, we had another double bottom and boom, right? So we are exploding. We are trying to break above and hold above the $60,000 level. So what am I looking at for Bitcoin? Do I actually think that we could come down here? Well, number one, I just want to say congratulations if you actually did get an opportunity to put in the long. I actually took an opportunity to long at this point because the trend is your friend. And right now you can see we are, in fact, doing quite well in our position. So I'm not complaining, guys. I'm not complaining. This is exactly why we wait. We let the market come to us. We don't chase pumps, right? And that is that situation. By the way, guys, if you are interested in trading over on Bybit, they have huge news today. I am so excited. They added Cardano, they added Polkadot, and they added Uniswap. You can now trade all three of these over on Bybit. And if you guys are interested, they actually have a $500 referral program, and you can also get $100 as well in the rewards hub. And by the way, if you use the link below in the description of this video, you do get a bonus $200. So you could literally get $800 just for signing up if you have no idea how to use Bybit. Not recommended for beginners. However, check out the tutorial popping up above. We go over all of this, and as long as you're subscribed to the channel and you watch the videos every day, we talk about our different potential entries and how we're looking to trade this, right? So look at this, guys. We did have that beautiful bounce right here, and I do still believe we are in this ascending wedge. So I would look for some resistance, maybe some minor resistance at around the $62,000 level. 62,000, we might see a little bit of turbulence, but after that, guys, the next level is about $70,354. You can see Bitcoin would probably come up here, do something like this, maybe before having another retest to the downside. So that's like the super bullish scenario, right? The bearish scenario, the worst I think it was going to get is we fall back into this blue box territory right around the $50,000 level. You know, we have a little fake out down here before still moving up to the upside because I still believe that we would be putting in a higher trend. So regardless of whether or not Bitcoin is higher or lower tomorrow, like I said, guys, the trend is still your friend. I would still be looking, not financial advice, you guys know that, but I would be looking to still add into those longs accumulating as we go lower, laddering into them. I'm still looking for a massive move. And as we have seen with the whale bubbles, we have lots of whale demand at 47. We had more at 55, more at 57. And Mike Novogratz just came out yesterday and said that he bought more at 56,000, right? So we are seeing the interest. Oh, and Mike Novogratz actually has something to do with the news today. In fact, so is it real? Is the demand there? Are the institutions buying? Well, how about this for the news today, my friends? Morgan Stanley, okay, will soon be launching 3 Bitcoin-focused funds as demand for cryptocurrencies pick up among institutional clients. Now, keep in mind, they were not very for Bitcoin before. They didn't see a reason to list it or have any type of instruments to get access to it, right? But according to this report, Morgan Stanley told advisors in an internal memo that it would soon launch access to 3 funds that allow investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin. So the move would be part of the bank's $4 trillion wealth management business. And Michael Saylor actually commented, he said, Morgan Stanley is the first bank to offer Bitcoin. They won't be the last. The move, a significant step for the acceptance of Bitcoin as an asset class, was made by Morgan Stanley after clients demanded exposure to cryptocurrency. So, I don't know why I just clicked on that, but you can see down here, they said that clients literally demanded for services to be made available. So accredited investors currently only really have access, through Coinbase or Gemini or Grayscale. But what's interesting is out of the 3 funds, 2, would be from Galaxy Digital, the crypto fund founded by Mike Novogratz, which is interesting because yesterday he was saying how bullish he was on Bitcoin and how he was buying Bitcoin at 56,000. And I feel like he was kind of trying to hint at the news without actually saying the news, right? Another joint venture would be from asset manager FS Investments and Bitcoin company NYDIG. And NYDIG also said that they have extremely big news coming out within the week. So it's definitely going to be an interesting week coming up for Bitcoin. I'm definitely super excited. And talking about what Anthony Scaramucci said, he's the head of Skybridge, and he said that over time, Bitcoin may bring returns comparable to those by Amazon after 12 years of holding 64x. Now, I don't know if he's talking about 64x from this current price right now, because a 64x from where we are right now, yeah, I don't even know what that would be. Let's see, 64, let's just say we're at 60,000 just for easy math. What is that? Yeah, that's a $3.8 million Bitcoin. So I'm not sure if he's talking about I don't know. That's crazy though. I mean, it's possible. I do believe, if they just keep printing the money, I think the ceiling for Bitcoin is pretty much as high as you want it to go. But he says at the moment, Bitcoin's passing through its transitionary period, same as Amazon during its first 10 years. If you bought 10,000 back in 1997, you'd have $21 million now. Once Bitcoin scales and reaches adoption levels of more than 1 billion, the same may happen to Bitcoin, and it's likely to show similar returns on investment. Scaramucci also reminded CNBC that as soon as Bitcoin reached the $1 trillion market cap, it became, what am I trying to say? It became very, in other words, it's funny because people think the price is getting too high, so that means that people don't want to buy. But what's crazy is actually the higher the price gets for Bitcoin, the more legitimate it is seen through the eyes of the institutions, and the more that the institutions will actually come in. He also says that the reason that it got to this market cap so fast is because it's decentralized, and he is positive that so I guess he is good. He says that Bitcoin is going to 64x, but he says it's going to take maybe 15 years. So he's saying in 15 years, we could see a $3.8 million Bitcoin. So it's possible, guys. It's possible. And it's not just that, but in the new Deutsche Bank report, they also talk about Bitcoin no longer being able to be ignored after the $1 trillion market cap. Literally what I was just talking about. Bitcoin's market cap of $1 trillion and a scope for a continued rise in price makes it too important to ignore. And central banks and governments understand that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Thus, governments are expected to start regulating them late this year or early next year. Also, what I talked about in yesterday's video was the fact that lots of U.S. citizens are getting their stimulus checks. Did you receive your stimulus check yet? Let me know. Drop a comment below. Are you going to be using it to buy Bitcoin? Well, 2 polls determined that about 10% of U.S. citizens plan to use their $1,400 stimulus checks to buy Bitcoin and other crypto assets. As had happened in previous occasions, they actually surveyed 1,000 people and asked them what they had previously used their checks for. And you had people saying things like obviously groceries, rent, savings, paid down debt, etc. But 15% said they had invested the funds into things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And the participants' plan for the third round of stimulus checks, very similar. They say about 7% are looking to buy crypto, Bitcoin, digital assets, again, right? So you can see right here, 90 billion Biden checks have made their way to the American bank accounts, and the surveys does suggest that 40 billion will go into Bitcoin, with the Fed's chair, Jerome Powell, expecting any bump in inflations this year to be short-lived. Interest rates, my dad actually was on the phone last night. He's like, do you see what they're doing? He was talking about, these interest rates expected to stay at 0 until 2023, the Fed changing its policy to allow for higher than 2% inflation for some time, which honestly at this rate, you're clearly going way higher than 2% inflation. I mean, I remember last year, I think it was the month of July, they had 4% in just 1 month, which is insane. So that had increased bond yields to about 1.7% for 10-year treasuries because no one wants to buy government debt anymore. People, therefore, are getting out of bonds and presumably they're going to end up in stocks or, as we just saw, things like cryptocurrency, right? So all signs are pointing towards Bitcoin rising and rising and rising. And whether or not we have these shakeouts, these fake outs, these pullbacks, I cannot stress enough. You're probably sick of hearing me say this right now. The trend is your friend, okay? Oh man, it actually frustrates me. There's some people, and I respect some of these people, okay? These are like different traders, and they go on, like, they'll go on Twitter, or they'll be like, oh, like, I'm shorting here, like, get over it, or like, it's the top fellas, and every single time they're wrong, and it's just like, what are you trying to prove? You're trying to scalp trade the greatest asset in human history, just as the institutions, the banks, it's getting put on S&P 500 treasuries, and now you're gonna short it now? Like, are you kidding me, guys? Come on, get out of town with that mentality. But in other news, super quick, we also have NFTs exploding. Lindsay Lohan has doubled down on her support for NFTs and Tron, and she is planning to launch an exclusive line of collectibles on Justin Sun's platform. So NFTs, whether or not you think they're in a bubble, they might be in a bubble. I mean, $69 million for a painting is a little crazy. Although I do believe that was a bit of a marketing ploy. We can go into that another day. I had some look into that. But yeah, so guys, also don't forget Unmarshall. They actually have formed a partnership with Elrond, and they're saying that they're going to be indexing the Elrond extensively and also decoding it to provide rich and meaningful on-chain data. And also they are going to be on PokerStarter, so keep your eyes out on that. And finally, guys, we do have Odds Finance. Let's see how it's doing. It's actually going up. It was $1.89, now it's $2.06. That did get listed today over on Uniswap and CoinGecko. So that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you haven't seen the videos that are popping up right here, right now, check them out. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.